Welcome to all students. Today we are going to do an essay written by T S Eliot, that is Tradition and Individual Talents. Let's begin the essay. Okay, the first this essay published in 1919 in Times Literary Supplements. Okay, and considered unofficial manifesto of Eliot's critical creed from basis of all its subconscious criticism. This essay has three parts, as this is written here. You can see. The first part is a concept of tradition. Second, the theory of the impersonality in poetry, and third, some of the whole discussion. So let us do the first concept of tradition. According to Eliot, this is Eliot. It is wrong. Eliot. Okay. According to Eliot, writer must have faith in some system of writing, that is, work of art must conform to the past tradition. He's focused that uh, the writer must have faith in some system of writing, that a work of art must conform to the past tradition. Means in the every writer's writing there must be a past tradition. Okay, he focuses on it. According to Eliot, not Eliot, according to Eliot, uh, a work of art must conform to tradition in such way that it alter the tradition as much as a direct tradition and individual to go together. Means there should be a race of tradition, as well as there should be a individuality also. Okay, means he want to say here that tradition in such a way that is alter the tradition as much as it direct the tradition and individual to go together. Okay, both things should be there in the writing. Okay, आगे देखते हैं. Tradition is not salvage imitation of the past. Okay, he said tradition is not just copying the others. Okay, it is not just imitation, but it cannot be inherited. It can only obtained by hard labor. He said that it cannot be obtained easily, but to obtain the past tradition, one has to do hard labor. Only those obtain only those obtain it who have historical sense. Okay, the person who have historical sense, only that one can obtain the past traditions, because it is not copying only, but it is something else. So what is the past historical sense? Let us see. Historical sense, as you can see, historical sense involves perception not only the pastness of past, but also of its present. One who has historical sense feels that whole literature of Europe from the Homer to his own day, include literature of his own country, form the continuous literature tradition. So a poet has to work and read the whole tradition, no different era keep in mind before the composition on poetry. Okay, so the next point is here. He says Eliot conception of tradition is dynamic. One, it's constantly changing, growing, and be different from what it is. The relationship between the past and present is reciprocal. He says the past and present, the relation of past and present is reciprocal. Just as past direct and guide the present, so the present alter and modify the past. Means past helps to know the present through light of on past, and it's in this way alone that we can form an idea of what is really individual and new. So T.S. Eliot says present poet must be judged by comparison with poet of past. Okay, means when he is going to criticize, he should be compare them with the past poet. It's said to much learning kills poet. He says ये कहा जाता है कि मीन्स बहुत सारी लर्निंग, बहुत ज़्यादा कोई पढ़ लेता है, बहुत सारी ज़्यादा स्कॉलिंग कर लेता है, तो क्या होता है उसकी सेंसिबिलिटी किल हो जाती है. ही सेज द लुक शेक्सपियर रीड देखिए स्पेलिंग्स में बता दे रहा हूँ ताकि आपकी नोट मेकिंग ये नोट्स आपको समझ पाए. PLUTARCH and acquire more knowledge of past than one could learn from the British. This one is British, okay? British Museum. Awareness of past, sharp sensibility help in compose poetry. So a writer must seek guides from past and conform to the light tradition. Okay. The next point, the theory of impersonality of poet. देखिए इसके अंदर क्या करता है, जो पोएट होता है वो बोलता है कि भाई जितने भी पोएट्स हैं राइटर हैं उनमें जब वो पोएट्री लिख रहे हो या कुछ भी राइटिंग कर रहे हो तो उनके अंदर जो इम्पर्सनैलिटी, उनकी जो पर्सनल थॉट्स है, पर्सनल विचार है, पर्सनल पेन है, वट एवर दे गोइंग थ्रू इन द पर्सनल लाइफ, दैट शुड नॉट बी देयर present in the poetry. So let us see what he says. Eliot says poet has no personality to express, but he should escape from the personality. Okay, the poet must be impersonal as scientist. The emotional and passion of the poet must be, uh, you know, deperson depersonalized before his interest into the poetry. Eliot says the more perfect the artist, the more completely separated in him will be the man who suffers and the mind which creates. Personality of the poet more receptacle and honest criticism and the sensitivity, sensitivity, sensitive, you know, uh, appreciation is directed not upon the poet but upon the poetry. जो ऐसा करता है वही गुड क्रिटिक है कि जो वो पोएट को जो क्रिटिसाइज करे वो उसके वर्क पे करे, ना कि मीन्स ऐसा ना क्रिटिसाइज करे क्योंकि ये लोग कहते हैं ये बुरा है इसलिए लोग ये इनका वर्क बुरा है, या फिर ये इसमें लाइक मुझे ये पसंद नहीं इसलिए ये बुरा है. मीन्स उसकी राइटिंग पे देखें. आगे एलियट कंसेप्शन ऑफ पास्ट. पोएट्री इज ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रादर देन द इंस्पिरेशन. मीन्स ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ये बनाई जाती है, ऐसा नहीं जैसे कि यू नो विलियम वर्ड्स ने कहा था कि भाई ये तो स्पॉन्टेनियस ओवरफ्लो ऑफ द फीलिंग्स है. तो ये बोल रहे हैं कि दिस इज़ नॉट spontaneous flow overflow of the feelings, but it is an organization, it is created, not it's automatically come out. The greatness of the poem depend upon the intensity of the process of the poetic composition. Emotion of poetry is the different from the personal emotion of the poet. That is impersonality that we have discussed. Emotion of the poetry must complex, refined, even emotion never experienced by poet can serve the poetic purpose. Next, Eliot says poet cannot communicate his reason direct to the reader. Means जो भी उसको बात करनी है वो डायरेक्ट नहीं बात करता पोएट, वो क्या करता है उसको घुमा फिरा कर बात करता है, जो भी उसको मैसेज अल्टर करना होता है, मैसेज पहुंचाना होता है. But some objective suggestive then revolve emotion in his reader. Okay, he make the like involvement first, and he invoke the emotions in the audience, and then he suggests something what he want to suggest. Last, he conclude the poet is not a turning loose of the emotion, but an escape from the emotion. It is not the expression of the personality, but an escape from the personality. What is the poetry? Poetry is not the turning loose of the emotion. Okay, but an escape from the emotion. Okay, he says the poetry is not the turning loose of the emotion. कि poetry ये नहीं कि हम emotions जो हमारे कह रहे हैं that we have to write, but it is an escape from the emotion. It is an escape from the emotion, that we have to escape from the emotions. There should not be emotional feeling that we have. Okay, it is not the expression of the personality. It is not about the personality that I am writing what I am, but it is something else. But it is escape from the personality, that is we have read you know uh, impersonality. So this is all we have did individual and talent by the Eliot. I hope you it would help you so much. Best of luck for your exams. Thank you so much.